Okay, so have you ever, been in one of those situations where, like, you just want the ground to swallow you up?
Oh, absolutely. We've all had those moments.
Yeah, those super awkward, like, cringeworthy moments where you're just like, "Oh, God, make it stop."
Definitely.
So those are what we call embarrassing situations, and today we're gonna take a deep dive into them.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, we're looking at this podcast called Diaries and Problems. It's hosted by this guy, Whale, and
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
yeah, he really seems to like get into like the nitty-gritty of these situations.
For sure.
So I
Yeah.
thought it would be cool to kind of like see what we can, what we can learn from him about like how to deal with these moments and maybe like even find a way to laugh at them.
I'm in. Let's do
All
it.
right, so first things first. Whale, he defines these situations as like unexpected moments that make us feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, you could be just like chatting with someone and accidentally say the wrong thing, or I don't know, trip and fall in front of everyone.
Oh, yeah, the classic trip and fall. A true crowd pleaser.
Right. And it's funny because even though these moments can feel like the end of the world at the time,
Oh, totally.
in the grand scheme of things, they're really just like tiny blips.
They feel huge in the moment, though.
They do. But that's where the importance of perspective comes in, right?
Absolutely. It's all about how you frame it. Like, Whale, he actually shares this story in one of his episodes about spilling water all over himself at like a fancy dinner party.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate nightmare.
Oh, my God. I would just die.
But the way he tells it, it's hilarious. He totally owns the moment, cracks a joke, and everyone ends up laughing with him.
See, that's the key. It's turning it into a shared experience.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
if you can find the humor in it, it just takes all the awkwardness away.
Totally. It's like acknowledging the elephant in the room
Yeah.
and then like inviting everyone to laugh at it with you.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so powerful because laughter is contagious.
It is. It's like instant mood booster.
Totally. And it's not just about like diffusing the situation in the moment, it's also about how you process it
Right,
afterward.
right.
So like, why do we even get embarrassed in the first place? Like what's going on in our heads?
I've always wondered that, actually.
Well, it all comes down to our deep-seated need for like social acceptance. We care what other people think of us.
That makes sense.
Like evolutionary speaking, it was super important for our survival to be part of the group.
Right.
So we developed this like intense awareness of how we're perceived by others.
I see.
And when we do something that we think makes us look bad, it triggers this like primal fear of rejection.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But here's the thing. We often overestimate how much attention people are actually paying to us.
Oh, for sure. Like, everyone's so caught up in their own lives, they probably don't even notice half the stuff we worry about.
Exactly. So it's like this double whammy of like caring too much about what others think and then also like assuming the worst about their judgments.
Oh, that's a recipe for disaster.
It is. And that's why like Whale's advice is so valuable. He gives us these tools to kind of like break free from that cycle of overthinking and self-criticism.
So what are some of his tips?
Well, like we talked about, humor is huge. It's all about finding a way to laugh at yourself and the situation.
Yeah, I like that.
And then another thing he talks about is taking a deep breath, like literally just pausing for a moment to calm your nervous system.
I can see how that would be helpful.
It is. It gives you a chance to like collect your thoughts and not react impulsively.
It's like hitting the reset button.
Exactly. And then the last thing he emphasizes is to not overthink it.
Yeah, easier said than done sometimes.
It is. It is. But it's so important. Like these moments happen to everyone. They don't define you as a person.
Right. And dwelling on them just makes it worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on.
And maybe share it with someone else and have a good laugh about it later.
Absolutely. Like, Whale, he actually encourages his listeners to do that, to share their own embarrassing stories.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like creating this community where everyone can relate and feel less alone.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
And the funny thing is, these moments, as cringeworthy as they are at the time, they often make for the best stories later on.
Oh, totally.
It's like they add this unique flavor to our lives.
They make us who we are.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into embarrassing situations,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this question.
Okay.
What's an embarrassing moment that you can now look back on and laugh about?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And maybe even one that, like, in hindsight, actually taught you something valuable about yourself.
Because we all have those moments, right?
Yeah.
They're part of what makes us human.
They are. And sometimes they're even the moments that make us the most memorable.
So embrace the awkwardness, folks. It's what makes life interesting.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that's our deep dive for today.
Until next time.
See you then.